Hello, Braveheart sister. Welcome to the Female Success Model webinar. Congratulate yourself. Allow yourself to receive the joy of this moment because I'm about to give you, offer you, emanate to you, ripple onto your space a taste of the Female Success Model. It has assisted me to blossom tremendously on this path, and I now see women from all walks of life blossoming from all around the world too. So it's your turn. This is your time. First, let's relax our shoulders. Relax your shoulders, because you know they're like hitting your earlobes. Yeah. That was an oxytocin breath. I'll share with you what that is in just a moment. And what I'd like to do is I'd like to honor and acknowledge this moment. I know that synchronicity has brought us together, and although we are connecting through technology, I'd like to express to you that this connection, heart to heart, soul to soul, is so meaningful to me. And I look forward to getting to know you and perhaps even being a part of your journey as we blossom individually and collectively together. And so it is. So what's the Female Success Model? You know, 15 years ago, I started as an entrepreneur and visionary, and I realized that very soon after that, I realized I was getting exhausted. I was feeling burnt out. I was doing everything I was supposed to be doing, yet it wasn't working for me. And I said, how can I put my knowledge as a healthcare professional, as an intuitive woman, and as an entrepreneur together to develop a model that would work for me, especially on a physiological level, so I didn't have all these ups and downs and feeling like I was driving on the highway over the speed limit, yet with my brakes on. Why was I in such fight, flight, or freeze? How could I be in a state of more ease? And so I started to kind of go into this process and realize that the success formula I was following wasn't working for my body on a physiological level as a woman. I started to realize that there is a difference between women and men when it comes on a physiological level, is all that I'm talking about, when it comes to creating, succeeding, and actualizing our purpose. I realized that the whole power of positive thinking model didn't work for me. Because for men, thoughts become emotions. And so the whole power of positive thinking model, the whole formula says that when you have a negative thought, conquer it so it doesn't become a low vibration or emotion in your body. And so the whole act of conquering a negative thought gives a boost of adrenaline and a feeling of charisma to a man, and therefore he feels or thinks of himself as someone who is successful. Yet the power of positive thinking didn't work for me, because for me as a woman, an emotion becomes a thought. It is reverse. And so if an emotion became a thought, the thought is the symptom. The emotion is the cause. Where is that emotion coming from? How can I release it? And the whole act of recognizing a negative thought, wanting to conquer it, was giving me more adrenaline and making me feel more exhausted right after. And so that's just an example of what I figured out and realized on this path. And so I started to really tune into it and recognize so many different things that I could put together and now call the Female Success Model that have been working for me. bringing a state of ease, feeling of longevity, connecting with my purpose, the feeling of joy and grace that comes from having clarity, knowing where I'm going. At the same time, the oomph, the courage that allows me to create here in physical reality. All of that is a part of the female success model. So I'll begin with the fundamental physiological components at the heart of FSM, Female Success Model, and that is the hormone oxytocin. I'm talking about a natural hormone in the human body, and especially a hormone that we can activate and secrete with more ease in our bodies as women. So oxytocin, which we now call the prosperity hormone, not that oxytocin brings you prosperity from an external perspective or tapping into oxytocin, makes you make money. No, I'm talking about oxytocin allowing us to be in a state that feels prosperous and therefore allows our magnetic field of energy to ripple abundantly. And then we are felt and seen as inspiring. Our energy feels potent. We have authentic influence. Others will see and feel our energy and will go, I like to feel how she's feeling, and I'd like to go where she's going. That kind of prosperity. So the prosperity hormone, oxytocin, allows us to bond with our purpose, to tap into self-love and self-trust in such a way that brings longevity and consistency on this path for us as an entrepreneur and as a visionary. Oxytocin is a hormone that's also released in the female body during the process of giving birth. And so when we are about to give birth, oxytocin allows the cervix to open up so that the baby can be delivered and the milk to be let down abundantly so that we can nurture our offspring. Now, if you see that as a metaphor, that's what oxytocin does also when it comes to us giving birth to our purpose and nurturing our vision with consistency and in an abundant way. So I want to feel like that as a female visionary, don't you? I don't want to feel like I have all these ups and downs emotionally and mentally, and that my body is exhausted, and that I have to force myself to be able to love myself, or that I doubt myself because I can't tap into self-trust. I want to be in a state of ease. And so this fundamental physiological core of the female success model teaches us how to activate our oxytocin boosting processes. So how we do that in a nutshell is we teach our brain to come from our sympathetic pathway, not to be confused with the emotion of sympathy. It's a part of our autonomic nervous system called sympathetic pathway or parasympathetic pathway. So fight or flight or freeze and tend and befriend and ease. And so oxytocin allows us to relax our fight, flight, or freeze system and open up to our state of ease system, basically. And when we allow an oxytocin breath, we vibrate our vagus nerve, the longest nerve in the human body. And when it gets vibrated, it connects us. The ultimate mind-body connection occurs. So let's allow an oxytocin breath right now together. Let's relax our shoulders. Allow a deep breath all the way into the belly. Don't take it in, because if you go take it in, it actually activates the sympathetic nerves and puts us into that fight, flight, or freeze. Allow a deep breath all the way in. And now the exhale is an elongated ha, not ah or om, which are spiritually grounding breaths. We're talking about a physiological breath. Ha. and it's an elongated exhale. The thing that's really vital with an oxytocin breath is that you have to infuse a dose of pleasure into it. Pleasure. Like this. Like you were just having a soulgasm. And when you bring in that elongated sound of ha and infuse in the vibration of pleasure, the brain tells the hypothalamus, which is its command center, it says, wait a minute, she's not in fight, flight, or freeze. She's not in the middle of a jungle trying to run away from a saber-toothed tiger or on a hunt. She's in a state of ease. She's feeling good. That was like a soulgasm feeling. So let's switch to the parasympathetic pathway. Vibrate the vagus nerve and release more oxytocin. Now, as my body luxuriates in more oxytocin on a daily basis, there is more ease with which I can give birth to my vision. There is more abundance and sense of prosperity internally with which I can nurture my vision. And therefore, I am now magnetic. My magnetic field of energy feels potent. There is a reservoir of intention units that supports me on the process of creating, in the process of creating, and around the process of creating. So let's allow an oxytocin breath together right now. Relax your shoulders. Allow a deep breath all the way in. Very good. Now, having known many women for many years, I can say that you probably didn't have as much pleasure as you require in that breath. And of course, you know, that has to do with our ability to receive, which is also a part of the female success model. And what I've also learned is that on a daily basis, what I feel boosts oxytocin or increases adrenaline and cortisol and burnout and exhaustion in my body. And, you know, as an exhausted person, how can I actualize a vision? My business, my brand, my vision becomes like a hobby or mechanical and robotic. So on a daily basis, I want to know tools and techniques that support me in increasing my vibration of ease by having my body boost more and more oxytocin. So there are even some concepts such as, you know, you've heard a lot of us say, I'm anxious to see how that works, or I'm anxious to create. Well, I want to say, I am eager. I'm eager. That is a different vibration. And I'm anxious tells my hypothalamus, uh-oh, she's anxious. Is she running away from a saber-toothed tiger? In this moment, I seem not to be able to speak. So let's allow a breath. Very good. And so what I want to do is, if I say I'm anxious, my brain says, well, let me give you more adrenaline because you're going to war. You have anxiety, right? If I were to say I am eager, it feels good, more oxytocin. Or something as simple as time flies. You know how every day we say, oh gosh, time flies. That creates a feeling of scarcity, lack of abundance, and puts me into constriction. And I check out, I go into flight or freeze. Yet if I were to say time flows, it feels good. And my body gives me more oxytocin. Now, I've also learned that with this space of ease, which is again the female success model, comes a deeper ability to connect with my purpose. And what is our purpose? Our purpose has three different components: our personal purpose, our professional purpose, and our global purpose. Now, a lot of us resist our professional purpose because we think that the only reason why we're having a business or we're building a brand or we're on this path is because we just want to have a professional purpose that makes us feel better on an egotistical, level. And in the female success model, we learn that it's all about our global purpose. Now, where is our global purpose? Our global purpose resides right here in our heart. So put your hands right here. Allow a breath. And our global purpose, visualize this river of pearls and golden energy coming from above, connecting you to the source, whatever source you resonate with. Universe, cosmos, divine intelligence, God, goddess, whatever resonates with you. So this energy connecting us with source, pearl and golden light energy coming down through the head, into the throat, into the heart. We embody that energy, and then it overflows. We emanate it. It overflows. So go like this with me right now. Overflows. This is the insight of our vision, the purpose to which we were born as female visionaries. And we must surrender to this global purpose. Have you ever had the feeling that you wanted to shift the direction of your divine flow? That's called resistance. No, I don't want it like this. I want it like this. That's called resistance. And so we have to learn to surrender. Now, surrender, especially from a divine feminine perspective, is not weakness or giving up or indifference or apathy. It is allowing ourselves to tap into the core of our divine flow, our global purpose, our feminine energy. So right now, let's practice one exercise, which is also a part of the female success model, that allows us to surrender into that flow. Ready? Visualize and go, bring yourself into that flow. Visualize and go, bring yourself into that flow. Bring yourself into that flow. Now, what this does on a physiological level is it cools down our sympathetic nerves. Our sympathetic pathway nerves are nerves that put us into that state of fight, flight, or freeze, or adrenaline. And by us surrendering with that sound of letting go into this flow, it cools these nerves down, brings us out of fight, flight, and freeze, and brings us into the deeper core of who we are, right where you may not see my hands right now, but right on our belly, under our belly button, actually. And these nerves, right here, down here, above the pubic bone and around the belly, are our parasympathetic nerves. And we want to tap into that. Now, interestingly enough, right there, deep in the belly, is also where our professional purpose resides. So we are here to surrender to our global purpose and then allow our professional purpose to serve that. Here on planet Earth, we require to actualize this vision down here in physical reality. Not just up in the ethers, Ooh, it feels good. I feel like I'm abundant. I feel like I already have all that I require to manifest my vision. I already have created world peace up here. Oh, but I'm broke, frustrated, exhausted, have self-doubt, don't know how to do it down here. So what we want to do is we want to integrate both. And so many healers and teachers and so many female visionaries tap into this, yes, yet they try to create down here in physical reality with this energy. In physical reality, you've got to create with the energy that's at the core of your belly with this energy. Global purpose, professional purpose. This is dolphin-like. It feels joyous and harmonious, and I surrender to this. This is lioness energy. It actually connects me to the core of the planet, the core of planet Earth, where gravity resides, where the magnetic field of energy of physical reality resides. And I want to be connected into that, grounded into that, and I want to bring my professional purpose energy so that it can serve my global purpose. I am a visionary. I am an entrepreneur. And I want to bring them together, a business model that supports the creation of fuel for the expansion of my global purpose. Now, I know that there is a vision within me and that I am a female visionary. You too are a female visionary. Perhaps you have an inkling that there is a vision within you, something bigger. Or maybe you know, yet at the same time you have some doubt. It doesn't matter. Perhaps as a female visionary, right now you are in the dormancy phase, or in the budding phase, or in the reluctancy phase, or you've begun to be in the blossoming phase. And what I know is that the female success model has assisted me to blossom into my vision and to be able to create what my vision requires to expand. Now, as I allow myself to tap into the core of my global purpose and the heart of my professional purpose, the two come in and meet in the middle, right where my rib cage is. And right there is the source and the essence of my personal purpose. So I don't blossom as a woman unless I acknowledge this vision is my global purpose, and this energy is the professional purpose that supports the expansion of my global purpose. When I acknowledge my global purpose and honor my professional purpose, I blossom as a woman, as a female visionary. And when I blossom, I come into my essence. Blossoming is an energy that is an energy of essence, as opposed to an energy of ego. And so it's not that I do what I do or I want to become who I desire to become for a sense of social status or approval. I want to do that because in essence, I am here to blossom. Now, there's something that's so delicious about blossoming in essence. And there's like a combination of humility, like humble energy, yet at the same time, not playing small. That's essence. Humble, yet not playing small. And authentic, without the pressure or the need to be perceived as nice by other people. And or someone who is honoring the energy of prosperity without the mental chatter of it being distorted or it being greed or perceived as greedy. That's essence. When I release my limitations and blossom into my potential. So I'm able to blossom into my potential as a female visionary, into my essence as a woman, when I honor my global purpose and I acknowledge my professional purpose. Now, what's really amazing and why I love the female success model and what it has done for me is this, that I can't do any of this mentally because I'm a woman. I can't do it mentally. Of course, the mind energy is here to support me. Yet I can't do this level of blossoming mentally. I've got to blossom viscerally, which means I blossom from here all the way down to the top of my pubic bone. That's where I blossom viscerally within the cells of my body and the energy that encompasses all of my organs. Whereas in the masculine formula for success, a man finds his confidence and charisma and energy of success here in his mind field. We've got to go into our visceral field, into our cellular energy. And so how can I honor my global purpose, acknowledge my professional purpose, and blossom as a woman if I am in adrenaline, which means my body is constricted. It's not pulsating. We are meant to pulsate energetically. That's why an egg pulsates. Whereas billions of sperms compete for that one egg. The egg is in ease, pulsating and rippling her energy, and she's saying, come to me, come to me. And then the sperms are like, me and you, get out of the way, get out of the way, goal setting. No, it's my goal. I'm going to get there to the finish line. I'm going to conquer this, right? That energy works for men in business. For us, we've got to be pulsating and rippling. And how can we do that if we are exhausted, burnt out, and over-adrenalized? How can we do that when trillions of cells in our body are going, eh? We've got to de-adrenalize and come into ease and ripple and feel the sense of joy. Now, I tried for many years to be grateful, to have joy, to love myself, all of it by reading books and thinking about it and affirming and meditating and levitating, and right? And it didn't work. It felt mechanical. I would say I love myself, but I didn't really believe it. I would say I'm grateful, but I was worried. I would say I have joy, but I was completely miserable. Until I came into my visceral space. And I began the process of de-adrenalizing. I started to feel my potential on a whole new level. I started to trust myself on a whole new level. I started to love myself. I was able to look in the mirror and say, I love myself unconditionally. And I was amazed that that feeling was so magnetic, especially with other women starting to feel, I like that. That's real. That feels good. I want to be who she's being for myself. I want to go where she's going. And I started to create a community and a tribe and be a part of it and understand collaboration and create success. And with that, with my professional purpose, also went a business model that created millions of dollars with which I could expand my global purpose. Now, one of the things, actually several really vital things that the female success model teaches, I'd actually like to kind of touch upon a few things. The first one is this feeling of self-love and self-trust. And it's not a you can fake it till you make it thing. You've got to be it, and there is no way around it. And there is no way to do it if we are in constriction and our body is secreting adrenaline and cortisol and our buttons are being pushed and our cellular charges are being activated on a daily basis. And for most women, a few 100,000 times a day, they're getting activated into adrenaline. And so when we come into space of ease, then we're able to create more prosperously also. And so the foundation of that is that self-trust and lioness energy and that self-love and the dolphin, playful, joyful energy. And you can't do it mentally, you gotta do it viscerally as a woman. The other thing is that, I've heard so many women over the years say, I'm in a relationship and I want to blossom, yet my significant other, my husband, my partner, it's almost like he or she is a little bit afraid that if I blossom, I would, want to leave this relationship, or they would be left behind, or, maybe their abandonment issues are getting activated, and, they feel safer if I play a little smaller and be a little under the radar. And what I have seen over the years with so many women is this, including myself, that as I blossom as a woman, I have so much joy, so much incredible energy, so much insight, so much clarity that I can bring overflow, not even from a space of giving. It overflows into my relationship. It inspires my relationship. It creates a deeper connection. So, I allowed myself to release that fear of not having meaningful relationships if I blossom. In fact, I saw it exactly the opposite, and that's exactly how it occurred for me and so many other women who are implementing the female success model tools, exercises, techniques, and way of being, physiologically speaking. That our relationships became more and more enhanced. And those are relationships also in business with customers and clients, and attracting even, it's kind of like the most potent form of marketing is having that beautiful energy that is magnetic. The other aspect of course, being in relationship is so many women I have seen over the years who are looking, mostly women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, who've already been in a few relationships. Maybe, they're no longer in relationships that they began with, and now they're looking, in this next phase of their lives, they're looking for a soulmate. And after seeing that for so many years, I've actually discovered that there is a misalignment in that. When a woman or a female visionary on any level looks for her soulmate, she does not find him, and here's why. Because our soulmate is that energy, again, either a man or a woman, depending on the kind of partnership you're in, that is here to support and even protect. Our soulmate brings in divine masculine energy of support and protection. Now, if we're not blossoming into our essence, if we are not discovering ourselves, looking for our purpose, falling in love with who we are, committed to this path, and doing so with ease, our global purpose and our professional purpose and even our personal purpose is not fully ignited. And when my purpose is not fully ignited, it does not give him or her, my soulmate, the compass he requires to find me. The only way my soulmate can find me, my soulmate, not just the next mechanical relationship, The only way my soulmate can find me is to have an energetic compass that brings him in my space, the whole come to me, into my life. And I cannot do that. His energetic compass will not be activated if I am not tapped into my purpose. So that's another aspect of what the female success model really supports us with. To be who we are, to be bigger, more powerful, inspired, graceful versions of ourselves, and thereby attracting and magnetizing and bringing ease into the process of our soulmate, or even soulmates when it comes to business, finding us. Now, there's another aspect that's really vital, and of course, we're talking about the female success model, and I'd like to talk about business, and especially prosperity, and even money for a moment. So many of us as female visionaries, we resist prosperity creation, and we reject the whole idea of money because we think that I don't want to be perceived as greedy, and they're going to judge me, and it's not about money. And you're right, because in the distorted masculine formula of success, often it is about money. It's like, I want to create, or I want to build this mall in this shopping center, right? And it's going to take 5-10 years to build it. And here's the reason and the bottom line and the stores. And so it's often about money. And often the distorted masculine the distorted formula of success, which is often masculine and sometimes distorted feminine also, is about, creating dense structures, in the world and on the planet, and it is about money. Now, as a female visionary, one who lives here on planet Earth, I require fuel and prosperity to support the expansion of my global purpose. And my global purpose, at its very core, is about joy and harmony on our planet. And because I live on planet Earth, not on planet Pluto, or not on Uranus, I require to tap into the energy that allows me to create prosperity and, in fact, honor it for the expansion of my global purpose. So I'm gonna give you a very, let's just say, an exaggerated example, okay? And I've actually heard this from other women. So let's say you say, well, my purpose is to help all the people who don't have money. So it's not about money for me. I can't ever have a business or ever commit to, a path that is about, money and prosperity creation and marketing and sales. I, in fact, hate it because my purpose is about helping other people and, in fact, helping so many other people who don't have money. Okay, fantastic. Is that your global purpose? Because ultimately, our global purpose is to bring joy and prosperity and harmony. And you say, yes, it is my ultimate purpose. It's my global purpose. That's what I feel. Fantastic. Let's surrender to that. And now honor and acknowledge your professional purpose and create $1 billion so you can expand that global purpose and that vision of helping 1 million people who don't have money. So whatever the purpose is, that's our global purpose as female visionaries. We honor our professional purpose to support its expansion. And that's why we create prosperity. Like Disney said at one point many years ago, we don't make movies to make money. We make money to make more movies. So for us, it's not about creating prosperity just to create prosperity. We're creating prosperity to fuel transformation. That's what it means to be a female visionary. And the female success model supports you in releasing, the judgments and really honoring and acknowledging your professional purpose, your magnetic and magnificent ability to be a prosperity creator too. Okay. One more thing, and that is about, if I knew exactly where I was going, then I would go. And with the female success model, and also with being a female visionary, don't try to figure out, because it's like we suffer when we try to figure out exactly where we're going in the next 5 years. The whole write a business plan. Well, that's not for, it's not for women. Write a business plan, it's not for women. Now, it doesn't mean go based on the impulse of the day or the mood of the day or play small and not commit. That doesn't mean not have an intuitive structure for your path and intention units that you honor and implement and are consistent with. That doesn't mean go all over the place and have, ADD of vision. It just means that a female visionary is not a lake. She's a river. And how can you write a business model for the next 5 years based on a river that flows organically and surrenders to its own divine flow? You can write a business model based on a lake, but that's based on the masculine formula of success. So let's just release that pressure and come into a state of ease and trusting the flow of the river while, of course, releasing the parts of us that, wants to play small or the parts of our mindset that gets in the way, and allowing ourselves to come into a space of ease and grace with it because possibilities and serendipity and synchronicity and alignment is vast when you understand the flow of this river that doesn't require rigid structure. And again, the female success model supports us with tools and exercises to be in this. Very good. So now what I'd like to do is, share with you about receiving. And receiving is so vital. As women, we have been trained that we have to give more than we receive, or that it's all about giving, and we have to always, be there for others, and it's selfish to take a look at what we require to blossom, and that even if we're drained and exhausted, then at least, we're being a nice person. And so we got to release all that, which is really the distorted masculine, distorted feminine ways that are no longer serving us as female visionaries, as brave-hearted women. And so with that, we've got to open up to receiving, and receiving is a beautiful energy. And one of the things that we do when it comes to, opening up to the energy of receiving is we acknowledge how important it is to feel our intuitive insight and surrender to it with ease. So, you've been in places, I'm sure, as I have, and many other women who say, I really feel good about that. I really feel great about that. I feel good. Yeah, that feels good. That resonates. That feels aligned. So the receiving energy has opened up now, right? And then we say, well, let me think about it. That's like oxymoronic, right? No pun intended with the oxytocin. So you can't do that. You can't say, it just doesn't go with our flow. So we open up to oxytocin, to ease, and to trusting our intuitive insight. Our divine masculine, divine feminine energy gets activated. Our visceral space begins to ripple. We become more magnetic in that moment. We receive who we are, and then we say, well, let me think about it. Or we bring in guilt after that. Or we go ahead and ask other people what they think, and we don't trust ourselves. And see, what's happened in the whole marketing world, you know, the hundreds of emails that we all receive on a daily basis with promotions and marketing things and sales that are coming, and there is nothing wrong with marketing and sales, you know, as a tool in our professional purpose to serve our global purpose. Yet what's happened is that the marketing and sales in the masculine formula for success has become scarcity oriented. So you have to do this right now or you're gonna die. Or there's only 3 spaces available, and sometimes there are. Listen, I've even shared that we do only have 3 spaces, yet often that's not the case. Now, I'm not judging the masculine formula of success. In fact, for many years I thought, well, that's the way you have to market. Why? Because if you don't market like that, nobody moves. Everybody kind of sits on their assets right here and remains in their comfort zone. Why has that happened, though? I can share with you why that's happened. It's happened because we as women have not honored our divine feminine knowing, our intuition. We've brought mentality, the mind, the mindset, rigidness, let me think about it, into things. And the moment we bring let me think about it, it constricts our knowing. And the thought process then overcomes who we really are. So we haven't trusted our knowing and therefore haven't moved based on that, based on inspired action with ease and grace, not because we have to, yet because we are called to. So we haven't done that, and therefore a whole industry has been created based on scarcity. Well, they're not moving, and if they don't move, businesses don't grow, so we got to create some sort of a scarcity technique. Now, I'm not here as a female visionary to resist or judge anything the way it is. I am here to create new. I am not here to say no. I am here to say yes and yes and yes to a new way of being and feeling and creating. And as more of us join into that energy with our individual essence, we create a collaborative power that is so potent, and that evolves our consciousness in marketing, in business, in every other aspect of humanity and our personal lives too. So we create new industries and new models. And one of the new models I'd like to create with you is to come out of scarcity by trusting our intuition and saying yes without think about it. Oh, I feel yes, but should I feel guilty? You know, I have to give, I have to receive. And so let's say yes to our knowing. And so I have a question for you. Do you feel what I have shared with you right now, or so far through this webinar, has been valuable? Has it brought some visceral opening, or assisted you in remembering that which you already know? The answer is yes, isn't it? Do you feel that by receiving so much more tools and exercises and insight on the female success model, that you're going to be able to blossom into your essence and create as a woman? The answer is yes. And so I invite you to be a part of the female success model. It is 4 wonderful video modules put together in a beautiful professional course that I feel, and I know you feel, can tremendously assist you by beginning the process of de-adrenalizing, by beginning the process of boosting oxytocin, by beginning the process of connecting deeper with your purpose and releasing limitations that are no longer serving you. And most importantly, feel like you have longevity and energy, abundant energy on this journey. And then that will support you to be magnetic. so that I and others can look and feel your energy and say, oh, I love who she's being. I want to be that for me. And I love where she's going. I want to go that for me too. And that is how we all grow. And so I invite you to receive the wonderful gifts of the Female Success Model course now that you've received, a taste of it. And what I'd like to do is, as a token, a symbol of you honoring your intuitive insight and saying yes to yourself and receiving the Female Success Model, investing in your potential and going forward on this journey with yourself and with me, with a lot of other Braveheart sisters who are doing the same. What I'd like to do is honor you by saying that the moment that you register for the Female Success Model, you'll receive an email, and we'll begin the process of actually me contacting you on the phone so I can really get to know you. I'd like to know you, and you can tell me about your path and your vision and your business, or you can tell me about the inkling that you have, yet the lack of clarity, and I can certainly provide some support as well. And that would be a symbol, a gesture for the Female Success Model way of doing things. So you register based on your knowing. There is no scarcity. There is urgency, though, of you becoming who you're meant to become. And as a symbol, I will contact you to get to know you and be on this path with you. And the 4 video modules that are available for you as soon as you register, which you can watch all at once, or there's several hours, or you can watch over, let's say, 3 or 4 weeks. And you can always come back to and remember and write some notes. And there's some handbooks that go with them, virtual handbooks that go with them as well. And it will give you all that you require to begin blossoming into your essence, acknowledging your professional purpose, honoring your global purpose, and most importantly, feeling great about yourself. And that has urgency, doesn't it? The time is now, and it's your turn to feel incredible about yourself and your path. And I look forward to contacting you and getting to know you as soon as you register too. So right now, there's probably a link that's going to come up, or if you don't see a link, simply go to FemaleSuccessModel.com. Find out a little bit more about the benefits of this course. Register, give yourself the gift, and I look forward to getting to know you on our phone call and beyond. In this moment, I honor and I acknowledge the visionary within you, and I am grateful for the opportunity to have connected with you, even though it's been through a video screen or a TV screen, through technology. I feel a soul-to-soul connection, and I celebrate our journey together. And bye for now.